Welcome to the Ride With Us podcast, a podcast dedicated to the Prescott Rodeo grounds and the world's oldest rodeo. It's history, traditions, some storytelling, and all the events happening at the rodeo grounds. I'm your host, Greg Mengarelli. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a dynamic duo today, a couple of folks, a mom and son duo that have a lot of roots here in our Prescott Rodeo and an up-and-comer in the rodeo sport here in Prescott that we're very, very proud of, and we're very proud to showcase today. So welcome in Megan and Braylon Johnson. Thanks so much for being in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about. And Braylon, you have a very big accomplishment this summer that we're going to talk about. And we're very proud of the way you've represented Prescott, Arizona in a big way across the country here. But first, want to talk to your mom a little bit. Megan, you have some history here with the rodeo. You came onto the scene back in 2003. Tell us a little bit about your involvement with the rodeo.
Yeah, sure did. So I had just graduated high school. I graduated from Bradshaw. Don't tell anybody, okay? He doesn't want to talk about that.
Little rivalry.
A little inner household rivalry. So I had actually run the year before, and Kenny Decker was the queen, Janine Petty was the queen that year and had crowned Kenny Decker, and I was her first runner-up. And so I came back the following year. The pageant was actually on my birthday. Vividly remember waking up on my birthday and being like, okay, I'm going to go win this pageant. It's for my birthday. And I did. I ended up winning that year. And so I was crowned Miss Prescott Frontier Days, which I was crowned in 2002, but basically queen over the 2003 rodeo. And I spent the whole entire year traveling around the state and representing Prescott and learning as much as I could about rodeo. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed the year. It was great.
Well, thanks for doing that. It's really important for our rodeo to have good representation like that around the state and around the country. I'm assuming you even went to some rodeos maybe outside of Arizona. But
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What got you into rodeo? Was it your family? How did you get involved initially?
So I moved here when I was just 4 years old and have been in Prescott ever since. My mom kind of found this little blip on the map at the time and said, that tiny little place, that's where we're going. And so I've had horses since I was born. Always very interested in riding. My happy place is on the back of a horse. It always has been. And we started out actually just by joining some local trail riding groups. So we were part of the Prescott Saddle Club, and we would go every weekend and go to different locations around Arizona, go on trail rides. Sometimes they would be overnight trail rides. And so we'd, set up tents and hang out. And so met a lot of people that way. Actually met some really great ranch people at that point who were working out at the Rancho Diamante.
Oh, Rancho Diamante.
Yeah. So my very good friends, there was a boy that was a year older than me and a boy that was a year younger than me. And their parents got along with my mom really well. And we did a lot of stuff outside of the club. And I actually spent quite a bit of time during the summer out at Rancho Diamante with the kids and helping out, on the ranch, which was super fun. Very cool experience. It's actually me who got us into rodeo. My mom was never into the rodeo scene, but because of my friends and knowing some people around, all that kind of, stuff, it kind of got me really interested in it. And I ended up running for a junior Arizona title when I was, I think I first found it when I was 10, and it was Miss, what was it? It was Miss Junior Teen Country Western Arizona, something like that, And so I had run for the title a couple different times, and then I finally won it and had a blast that year. There were four of us. There was a Miss Teen. I was the junior teen, and then I had a preteen. Still really, really good friends with them, actually. And so, just a lifelong experience that I kind of started just longing for,
Sure.
And immediately I told my mom, I want to run for Prescott Frontier Days. I want to be the Prescott Frontier Days queen. And there was so much that I needed to learn about rodeo. It was really difficult for me. I was great with the interviews. I had no problem talking to the judges, but I knew nothing about rodeo because I wasn't raised around it.
That's funny.
So just, a lot of catch up I had to do, and a lot of time with some really great friends and supporters and gals who had run before. And I ended up finally achieving that goal when I graduated high school. So it was good timing.
I guess you know a lot more about rodeo now.
I've got it pretty much dialed in, I think, at this point. Yeah, for sure.
So, Megan, did you married Brandon, and his family has a lot of history in rodeo, or involvement in rodeo, I should say, and even a rodeo company at one point. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So my in-laws bought 100 acres out in Williamson Valley back in 1981. My father-in-law was a drywaller by trade, but pretty much a jack of all trades. So we've got 2 giant barns, 3 little guest houses, and a big house on the property. And he's built everything on that property from the ground up with his hands. So kind of purchased it back in the day. He was still in Phoenix, and the family was living up here, just the mom and Brandon and his siblings living up here. And so they kind of, took some time and made the house a home, and it was kind of a big place for everybody to come hang out. The family would come, and my mother-in-law would do these big Christmas parties, Halloween parties, like always have the family together. It was a huge deal. And my father-in-law loved having cattle around for no other reason than he just loved cattle. I don't think he didn't butcher them. He didn't. He just had cattle. Yes, he just had cattle. And so Brandon kind of, as he was going into high school and getting a little older, being from this town and being around it, he kind of same thing as me, began finding interest in rodeo, whereas his family also was never really overly involved, I think my mother-in-law took my brother-in-law horseback riding for one of his birthdays, and he fell off and broke his ankle and got some pins put in, and he wants nothing to do with horses. My sister-in-law lives down in Phoenix. She's a very successful pediatrician, no interest in horses. It was just Brandon that was like, this is my life. This is what I'm interested in. So he actually and some of his friends started riding saddle broncs his senior year of high school. And then he went down to U of A. And so they would travel around, and they were on the college team and would ride at rodeos. He went on to do some circuit stuff, and he did go ahead and get his PRCA card. He ended up, I watched him ride one time ever, and it was actually the last time that he ever rode, and I was really grateful because my mom heart, or whatever, my girlfriend heart at the time, couldn't handle it. And I thought, well, good, I'll just never have to deal with this again. Cue this guy, however many years later. So Brandon did ride at the Prescott Rodeo. Actually, we have a really cool picture that he just pulled out recently of him on, I believe it was Zipper from the Harry Vold Rodeo Company.
I believe so.
I think it was Zipper is what he said. And it's this crazy cool picture of the horse rearing out of the Prescott Frontier Days bucking chute. You can barely see Brandon, and he's back there, and he said, I didn't ride it very well, but I rode it.
It's pretty cool because from our state finals, because our high school state finals is actually here in Prescott, and I had a horse, the exact same bucking chute, exact same spot, do the exact same thing. Wow. So me and my dad have the exact same picture.
And they caught a picture of it. So we now have the whole side-by-side of Brandon and Braylon in this exact same.
That's awesome.
20 whatever years difference, it's kind of nostalgic and cool. So he did ride for a little while at the circuit and had his traveling buddies and did the whole thing. And what he was really interested in was stock contracting. He met Harry Vold and had spent some time with him up at the ranch, and just fell in love immediately. He was actually an animal science major at U of A, and so very much into the bloodlines and why they buck and why they do what they do and the heritage of the bucking horse. In fact, he could go on for hours telling you, like, from the very beginning, the very first bucking horse king and Prince, and he goes on. It's pretty cool actually listening to him talk about it because it's definitely his passion.
Right.
So he ended up buying his very first trailer load from a huge sale up in South Dakota in Deadwood.
Okay.
And brought them back. And a couple of them actually were Hereford bloodlines. They had the bar HV on them. And he started a very successful breeding program. And from there, he started running the Extreme Rough Stock Explosions in Prescott.
I remember that.
At the Prescott Rodeo grounds. Yeah.
Yep.
So he would have 4 a year, and he had some awesome sponsors, some great support. Everybody was really great. Prescott Frontier Days was a fabulous host, and it was really fun to be there. I guess further back in 2000 on New Year's Eve, his very, very first Extreme Rough Stock Explosion was born, and it was at the Coors Event Center, which I guess is now, what is
Finley?
it called now? No, out at the racetrack.
Oh, out at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
It's something Nest now. But anyway, so he had an Extreme Rough Stock Explosion. It was the very first one. It was on New Year's Eve. It was crazy. He said they had to turn people away. He said the place was packed.
Nice.
And so that was where the idea was born. And then he started talking to the people over at Prescott. And that's actually where I met him. We were introduced by the rodeo general manager at the time. And I happened to be in the rodeo office asking some questions. And he was standing there ahead of me. And then the general manager says, oh, hey, Brandon, have you met our queen? And he turned around and he looks and I look, and it was like, hi. Just both of us immediately.
This was in the rodeo office?
Yep.
Oh my God. That was your introduction
that
to
was
Brandon.
our very first meeting. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I met him, and we exchanged business cards because that's what you do at that time. And I had told him, I had sang the national anthem for quite a few rodeos around the state that year. And I offered to him, I said, hey, if you need a flag carrier, or if you need somebody to sing the anthem, or both, which I think I ended up doing both. I said, give me a call or whatever. And he did, which I was surprised. I would have never guessed it. There's 8 years between us. So I guess when we first met, his first thought was, gosh, please be 18. And then my thought was like, hi, you're not married, are you? So
that's funny.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because we were both dating other people at the time and didn't really talk or connect.
Yeah.
We just, I went and I helped him with his rodeos, and it was great. And nothing came of it. And we hung out at Cow Punchers because we found out we had so many mutual friends. So that year we were up in Williams at Cow Punchers, and we all ended up, going to the dance together that night and kind of visiting, getting to know each other a little more, but still not, really talking. Actually, our first official date was October 4th in 2004, right? No, 2003. We were married in 2004. So it was a little whirlwind romance.
Oh, yeah.
Our first official date was actually after I'd given up the queen title. And I was there helping him out at one of his Extreme Rough Stock Explosions. And we ended up going to dinner afterwards, and that was it. We were like, okay, all right, we're going to do this. We're getting married.
Nice. What a great story.
Yeah.
Well, lots there. A lot of good family traditions at the home ranch where you guys gathered there. I think that's great with family. Brandon, who I guess we can say whatever we want about him. He's not here.
He's not here. Yeah, to defend himself.
But what a great story meeting him in the rodeo office. Wow. So, and I think it's also interesting, Megan, that you and Brandon really are kind of first generation rodeo people in your families. You didn't really grow up with it. You fell in love with horses and then ran for queen and all that. And Brandon the same way, that while there was livestock around, there was, he was the first one in his family to rodeo.
Yep.
So very cool story. Thank you so much for sharing all that. You have a lot going on right now, by the way, before we get to Braylon. This guy, I don't even know why we need him here.
I've been a little busy. I don't know. He's good to look at. He's kind of cute.
We can do our own show. No, you're involved with the Boys and Girls Club right now with their fundraiser, Dancing for the Stars, right?
I am. We are in season 9 of Dancing for the Stars, and I will be honest with you, since the very first season, I watched it and I said to myself, someday I'm going to do that. I got really excited about it. And I'm kind of grateful it's this year. It was actually really good timing for me. My youngest is 13. This guy just started driving. We've got so many, things going on right now that it's made it so that I can step away and I can do this. And the family's been super supportive, and
takes a lot of time, right?
Oh my gosh. It doesn't take as much extra time as I thought it would. Ron likes to practice really late at night. Apparently MC Hammer used to set up their practices so that they would fly in at 11 p.m., crash at the hotel for a couple hours, and then go to practice at 2 a.m.
Oh.
So when we first met, he said, I do my best work at night. And I was like, interesting. I'm a morning person. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. So I was really concerned because our first couple of practices, we've been practicing over at Captain CrossFit where I coach. And our first couple of practices didn't start until 8 p.m. Except Ron isn't punctual like I might be. And so there was another thing that I was like, oh, wow, this is not going to go well. So our first practice, I got there at 8. He showed up around 8:30, 8:45, came inside, sat down. He's taking notes. He's just busy doing whatever Rons do. And I'm sitting there going like, come on, we got to dance. We got to go. We got to practice. We don't have a lot of time. Mind you, this was April. And the competition's not till September, but I'm a little tenacious. So I was ready to go. And Ron was like, no, we're good. But it's all come together, and we're a really great team.
So Ron Howard has been involved with Dancing for the Stars, I think, from the first year.
He has. Yep. He has been involved every single year. Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So Megan Johnson, Ron Howard, Dancing for the Stars. If you want to support these folks, you can go to
dancingforthestars.net. And if you look at Team Megan and Ron, you can scroll down to the bottom of our team page, and it has an option to cast votes. You can cast votes for any donation amount that you wish, or if you'd like to come see the show, it's on September 19th and 20th at the Yavapai College Performance Arts Center. And you can purchase tickets from us, or if you are interested in sponsorship, I'm definitely still trying to find some sponsors. So happy to have all the support we can.
Nice. Well, your host was in year 2, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. I'm not much of a dancer. I'm sure you will do way better and learn a lot faster than I did. So, but anyway, it's a great cause, Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
So, thanks for doing that.
There's 10 teams in there, all working really, really hard for the kids, and that's what it's all about. And it's very rewarding for all of us. So very fun.
Should we talk to Braylon a little bit and see what's going on over here?
He's here. He's waiting patiently. He loves to talk.
We're recording this in the morning during the week, and it feels like you should be in school. You're a junior in high school. Are you playing hooky or what's going on here?
No, sir. So the last 2 years I went in person, but I started rodeoing really, really seriously over the summer. And
This past summer,
yes, sir. And I didn't really want to have to slow that down. So I moved over to the hybrid program. So like my math, English, science, and history is in the morning, and I do it online. And then around like 12:30, I go in for football practice, and then just that way I have the ability to go rodeo during the week and not miss school and not be behind.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Football practice is at 12:30.
Well, I have to be there because I have a TA class for coach.
Oh, okay.
And then our football class starts about 1:30. So
yeah, I wish I had one of those schedules when I was in high school. That sounds really nice.
It is pretty dang nice.
Well, it's cool. They tailor, the education around, your passions and rodeo, and yet you still get to play football. Tell us a little bit about that. You're a junior in high school, and you've played football for
just the last 2 years. I started as a freshman.
Okay.
Dad didn't want me to play youth ball because I wouldn't have been able to rodeo, so I wasn't going to pick football over rodeo, and so I just waited till I was a freshman.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So, and again, for our listeners' sake, Brandon, married to Megan, that we've been talking about, is also a football coach and has done that for Megan 20 some odd years.
About
maybe.
20 or so years, yeah.
I know he coached my guys there in when they were in high school. So, well, that's good. You got a full schedule. You're rodeoing and you're playing football and you're balancing the books. I'm sure your parents want to make sure you get your education and
4.0
focus on
student.
School does come first.
Oh, you're
sure.
4.0. That's
Yes, sir.
great.
Yep.
Good for you. Well done. Well, so when did you get started in rodeo, Braylon? I mean, obviously now we know your folks have been involved as you grew up.
They kind of moved away from it when my older sister was born, and so I didn't really have any interest in doing any of it till I was about, I think probably right before I turned 8. I started kind of wanting to try it. Like it started seeming interest, and the bull riding did anyway. And so Dad really made me wait and made me like I had to get to the point where I was begging him before he'd even let me try it. And so started riding calves when I was about 8, and went to my first rodeo, got on this calf, trotted around the arena, and I won $25. And
Nice.
and then I was in. That's what I wanted to do. And then so I rode calves and steers all the way till about 5th grade, and then I tried the bronc riding. And then I liked the bronc riding, but it was on the steers at that point, so it was like the saddle steer riding. But and then come my 6th grade year, I started riding bareback horses or bareback cows because it was on the steers for the junior high. And,
He was really excited about it too.
I wasn't
weren't you?
actually, believe it or not. I was forced to ride bareback horses when I started. I didn't want anything to do with it. I just wanted to ride bulls and saddle broncs. And we got to the junior high finals that year, my 6th grade year, the national finals. And I did horrible in the other 2 events, but I won. I think I tied 11th in the bareback riding. So I was like, I'm a bareback rider now.
Oh, nice.
And then kind of switched my whole thought on it, and it's kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Rode bulls all the way up until got on one my 8th grade year, or my freshman year. Sorry, got on one my freshman year, and I just quit craving it. So
yeah, I remember Braylon a few years ago. I was at we were in Vegas for the PRCA convention and the NFR, of course, which is all kind of in there in a couple weeks or so. But you were riding in the convention center for
yes,
this.
Sir,
That would have been juniors.
The junior world finals.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. So started when you were 8, and now here you are, a junior in high school. Tell us about your progression. What's your favorite event? What events do you compete in, and kind of how did you get there?
So like I said, I rode all 3 up until about my freshman year. Then I quit riding bulls. Now I ride saddle broncs and barebacks. The bronc riding, the progression's a little slower than the bareback riding has been, but I mean it's getting there, and I love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have to pick the bareback riding if I had to pick an event. But
yeah, bareback's your favorite.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. So then you compete around, when you're kind of coming up out of middle school into your early high school years, you're competing in high school rodeos around Arizona?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
About how many a year, like when you were a freshman, sophomore?
I think we have 10 total high school
10.
rodeos.
Okay. Yeah. And then you mentioned the high school finals right here in Prescott.
Yep, the state finals this year.
Yeah. So tell us about that rodeo this past summer. That was in June, right? The high school finals.
The nationals in July.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about Arizona high school.
The
finals.
state finals.
Sorry.
State finals. I got you.
Yeah. This. Tell me about that rodeo. How'd you do there?
I got on so I'm the only bareback rider in the state of Arizona. So I mean, it kind of stinks, but
You're the only bareback rider
in high school.
Really?
Yep.
That's a shame.
There will be 2 others this year, so I'm excited about that. But
okay.
The last 2 years, I was the only bareback rider. So
okay.
But so they gave my dad the bareback riding so we could challenge me a little bit and bring some better horses. And he actually they bucked me off in the first round of the bareback riding.
Oh.
So that was
a 7J horse, by the way.
I wasn't too happy. So I told him to run in. I told him to run in this horse we call Dr. Feelgood, and he's by far our best horse.
Yeah.
I was so mad, and so I got on this horse, and I love this horse. Man, this horse high 80s every time I get on him, and
sure.
So went out, showed off a little bit. Next 2 days, I rode both my barebacks, and then I ended up winning the average or tying the average with my buddy Will Crawley in the saddle bronc riding.
Okay. So you ran saddle bronc and bareback at the Arizona high school finals.
Yes, sir.
And what place did you get in the saddle bronc?
I finished second.
Second. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And obviously because you're the only bareback rider, you were first. We need to get more high school kids in bareback somehow, don't we?
They won't do it. I don't know why.
And that's kind of a trend.
Nobody wants to compete against the champ of the world.
Exactly. Well, we'll get to that. Yeah. So
sorry.
There's a shortage of bareback riders in general across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you have any sense of why that is?
I don't really. I know the PRCA is getting really small.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody said there's only like 80 card holders or something like that, which is, I don't know if that's true, but if that is, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, I think that's about right. So anyway, you qualify for the national high school finals, which is in Rock Springs, Wyoming,
Yes, sir.
In July.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us about that experience.
I came in fighting my head pretty hard, and so the nerves were a little higher than they should have been, if I'm being honest. And first round, I had a younger horse from Summit Pro Rodeo. Can't remember what they called it, but it was this little bay horse, and they had it. We went on to the PRCA stock stats and looked it up, and they were averaging him an 18, 19-point horse. I was like, okay, that's perfect, just a nice little hopper. Mm-hmm. And so I made a really, really good ride. I was 80 points. Ended up tying 4 ways for second in the first round. In the first round of the bronc riding, I drew a horse that kind of just petered off, kind of trotted around a little bit, but I made a good spur ride, and I was like 68, just a little bit outside of the top 20. And so then the second round of the bareback riding, I drew a really nice horse called Peace Pipe from Broken Heart. And so I had a lot of confidence going into that second round because I'd been going to a bunch of the RMPRA, the Rocky Mountain Pro Rodeo Association, amateur rodeos over the summer, and Broken Heart has the majority of them, Circle J. But so I'd been getting on Broken Heart horses the whole summer, so I had quite a bit of confidence going into that second round, and I was 81 points, tied for the win in the second round.
Nice.
And then I came in with it was a pretty close lead. I'm pretty sure me. So actually, it's kind of cool. So me, my buddy Brody Dent, and my buddy Daxton Fields, we were first, second, and third at the Icebreaker in March, a little earlier that year. And then we came into the short round at the high school finals, first, second, and third that year. So It was pretty cool to be able just to get around those guys and be able to compete with them. But and then in the short round, I drew a horse called High Hopes from Broken Heart. And so I don't think I've ever been more excited, but because I'd drawn that horse twice before.
Okay.
Helped me win the Icebreaker in March. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks before the high school finals, I won a rodeo on her, one of those amateur rodeos on her.
Nice.
So I don't think I'd ever been so excited. Went out there. She had a really good trip, made a good ride. A 75, needed to be 73 to win it, and then ended up winning the world.
Won the world. Wow. What was that like? What was that feeling like for you? Tell me about that experience. I mean, you're the only bareback rider coming from Arizona. You probably are kind of unsure. You're probably nervous because where do I fit in here? Right. I don't have any competition locally. What was that feeling like when you went after that ride?
The main way we really look at it, like going into any of it, is I'm competing against the horse and not the other people. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, the other people around me don't matter. If I'm getting on alone or if I'm getting on around the best in the world, it doesn't matter because I'm getting on against my horse. Mm-hmm. And so just carrying that mindset over into the high school finals is what really helped me. But I mean, it was awesome because in junior high, I won the bareback riding my 8th grade year, won the junior high national title. So I was the first bareback rider or first rough stock rider from Arizona to win a national title.
Nice.
And then to do it again in high school and be the first bareback rider, rough stock rider to win a national title in high school. It was the coolest. Like,
it's surreal.
It was surreal for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, for
sure.
Well, that's a huge accomplishment, Braylon, to go to the national high school finals and win a gold buckle for bareback. And we're very proud of you and grateful that you have some parents that are supporting you and you have a whole community here that supports you and follow you. And so congratulations on that, on your hard work and your dedication to the sport. And thanks for representing us well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Well, look, now you this summer have been traveling around to a lot of rodeos. a lot of amateur rodeos up in Utah. You mentioned in Oklahoma. But you were able to get on a few turnouts here in Prescott, right?
Yes, sir.
At the world's oldest rodeo.
Yep. So we were actually in Utah, and I got bucked off a couple horses that I shouldn't have gotten bucked off of. There's just a little bit of a tweak I was doing wrong, and so I was fighting my head like crazy. And Dad didn't want us to go into the finals fighting my head, so he's known Kirsten Vold forever. So called Kirsten, and they put together. They made it. They made it to where I could get on some practice horses.
Yeah. Just
during the perf, and so I wasn't actually entered. I was just getting on to get tuned up, and got the opportunity to get on some really nice horses from Kirsten, and it helps with my confidence a lot going into nationals. So
yeah. Had you ever ridden during a perf during the world's oldest rodeo before?
No, sir.
What was that like?
It was awesome. I got to meet some really cool people, and I got to meet a bunch of the guys that are going down the road now, and a bunch of guys I'll be competing against in a couple of years here. And just get on around them guys it's a whole different story. But it's awesome. It was such a cool experience.
Yeah, you're getting set up behind the chutes, and were you there when Stetson and Ryder Wright were around? Or
I think that was the day I was at another rodeo somewhere.
Okay.
But
yeah. Well, some big names roll through Prescott, as you know, and it's cool that you had the opportunity to get on some Vold horses during a perf at the world's oldest rodeo and do some practice.
And how fun was it to hear the crowd when they announced him? Oh, this is our hometown kid, and this and that. I mean, it gets electric, it gets exciting, and then he puts on a show because he hears them. Oh, they're cheering for me, and it was fun to watch for me being there the whole time and being in person and actually getting to watch, because I don't get to go out to a whole lot of the rodeos. We have other kids and other commitments here in town, so it was kind of neat being there at the world's oldest rodeo, which obviously my favorite rodeo. I kind of have a soft spot for it, obviously, and getting to watch him put on a show. Yeah, it's really fun.
So you were Megan, you were up in Rock Springs for the National High School Finals. Tell me a little bit about you and Brandon's experience watching Braylon win the world.
I think Brandon knew the whole entire time that he was going to win. He'd been saying it the whole entire time. And it's not that I didn't. He was extremely confident. And it's not that I wasn't at all. So don't get me wrong. But I almost didn't go this year. I just started a new job a year ago. Okay. And so now I have two jobs that, like you said, I'm Dancing for the Stars. I've got my other two daughters here in town, my mom, all these things that I'm kind of trying to juggle.
Sure.
And so I had told Braylon probably a month or two before the finals, I said, hey, bud, I don't think I'm going to go this year. And he goes, okay. And then he said, that's fine. And then he would find little ways here and there to bring it up. Oh, so I guess you're not going to the finals this year. And then I was like, don't tell your dad. I'll tell him when I'm ready. Just don't tell your dad. So he tells my husband, who of course says, so Braylon says you're not coming to the finals this year.
Ratted you out, huh?
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? I am so grateful I was at the finals this year, and my bosses are awesome. They are always really good about giving me the time off and letting me go, live out my rodeo dreams of watching my baby boy. And I actually texted both of my bosses, as soon as he won the world, I sent him the picture of his little Ranger ride. He's going around and he's pointing at everybody. He's got this smile on his face. I've never seen this smile before. He was so just on cloud nine, just the happiest, most genuine, sweet boy you've ever seen. And I sent the videos to my bosses and I said, hey guys, thanks for giving me the time off so I could be here. But as you can see, I'm kind of tearing up right now because I do that. Always, I tear up. It's I don't know. I can't even describe it. I'm excited for him. I'm not excited for me. That's not my moment, but I was so excited to see him in his moment and see his face as he was doing his little victory lap, and just knowing, and I was actually kind of cute. He just started dating this really sweet girl from Utah. He spends a lot of time there. And I was actually sitting up in the stands with her family, and they were all sitting, her little siblings had his big poster and they were holding it up as he was doing his victory lap. And it was it was like the real thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well have just been at the NFR. You might have
Sure.
just won that, you know,
Sure.
because it was big this year. This was the first year they had 6 countries compete.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger
Wow.
every year, and it was really exciting seeing, you know, Arizona's lone bareback rider come in and womp them all.
Yeah. Dad knew.
Oh yeah,
No,
he did.
is.
He called it.
He did
knew.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fun.
And it was pretty cool because, like you said, he won in his junior high year too, and so it was just kind of neat. You know, exactly 2 years apart. And I was doing the math and going back. I said it's kind of funny because his junior high year, his 8th grade year that he won. He had won the junior world finals that year. He won the bareback riding champion. He was the saddle bronc reserve champion, and he won the all around. In fact, that's the last year that they did the all around. And so he had just won a couple of world titles in December. Then he went to the icebreaker in March and he won the icebreaker junior high. And then he went to the world finals in Perry, Georgia. And again, he won it. So that was like his triple crown. He won that year. And I started looking at it and I said, well, gosh, Braylon, you won the icebreaker this year. And then you won the high school finals. And I said, gosh, Vegas is next. Here we come.
Yep.
So no pressure though. No pressure.
No, it's pretty cool because the icebreaker and the high school national finals are definitely like the 2 major high school rodeos of the year. And to be able to win both of them in the same year twice it was really cool.
Yeah, so the icebreaker is a national competition. I mean, you get folks coming from.
It's not as national as that. It's a lot more like
kind of
international,
high school
but
sanctioned though, right?
it is high school. It's a high school rodeo, but
Icebreaker, I'm assuming this is the first rodeo of the year.
Well, kind of. It's we have all of
First
our high
big
school
one.
rodeos. The first big one.
Well, in Utah, because it's in Utah.
It's in Ogden, Utah.
And they rodeo during the fall, but as you can imagine, they take some time off up there. I was actually just this last year that I realized that we're the only state that I know of that rodeos year round.
Okay.
Now we only go with the school calendar. So school starts, rodeo starts. And then like you said, you know, the finals in Prescott are here, you know, it's the very last weekend of May, first weekend of June. So it's right after school gets out. So for us, we only have, like you said, 9-10 rodeos by the time it's all said and done. We just recently found out apparently Utah High School Rodeo has 32 rodeos in their season.
Wow.
But they take the winter months off. It's very interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, so the icebreaker is their very first rodeo back. And I've actually never gone to an icebreaker, but I hear it's rather miserable still.
Oh, it's cold. And they do the bareback riding first. So we all get down in this locker and it's colder than it is outside, I swear to you. But inside this locker room, it's dark and still tired.
Trying to
We're
put your
there
bareback
about
glove
6:30.
Oh, wow.
But it's a fun deal and they pay good. They have great stock. So
yeah. Well, so what's next? You got another year of high school rodeo. 2 more. Okay. Explain that to me.
Because
you're a junior
I'm
this
just
year.
a junior
That's
this
right.
year. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the plan is to go back and win the bareback riding 3 times because I have the
Yes.
opportunity to do
Yes.
that. So
Yeah, that'd
Setting
be great.
some records.
Yeah. Okay. 3-time champ. We'll go for that. So then you've got your junior and senior year of high school rodeo. Is PRCA on the horizon? What do you think about that?
it is for sure. We were doing the math, and the day I turn 18, I can buy my permit. So plans are definitely to get my permit as soon as I can and ride it and try to get as much money as I can. We've talked to a couple colleges and so there's some
couple.
I talked
Like
to a
10.
lot. I talked to a lot of colleges at nationals.
Oh, I bet.
At nationals, and there's some great programs, and so I'm not quite sure what I want to do just yet, but I know for a fact that as soon as I can get my permit, I'm going to get my permit.
Yeah, get your PRCA card after you turn 18, and then sounds like college. Hopefully, at some point, sounds like you got a lot of folks interested in having you on their team. I would imagine after winning the world. So
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, how do you stay healthy? What's your routine? What's your workout routine? I know your mom is a coach at Captain CrossFit, but what do you do to stay in shape? You know, it's a very physical sport.
Very. lots of recovery, lots of stretching, and I eat right. Like I try my best to eat as much protein and as little sugar as I can. Sometimes that's kind of hard when you're on the road, but I try my best. But I work out at least twice a day and ride my machine. Stretching is the most important, obviously, but I train a lot of quick twitch muscles because the bareback riding is mostly quick twitch. So kind of train like a sprinter a little bit. Try to stay away from like long exaggerated runs or like,
CrossFit.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, stay away from CrossFit.
He stays away from CrossFit.
Hard on your body. No. So yeah, no, you got to be really focused on what you're eating and working out, and I obviously you've been working really hard, and then I suppose I like the fact that you're involved in football. That many times kids specialize so much when they're young, but I just think it's good that you get kind of a well-rounded high school experience and play football. And so I'm sure your dad wants you to play football too, but
well, the coaches have been really gracious
great
with him and very attuned to his rodeo schedule. And obviously no special privileges, nothing like that, but just they've been really gracious with him, and they know what he does, and they know he makes a living at it. I mean, he won a lot of money this summer, going to all those rodeos, and so football practice or so I mean, they've been pretty good about he works hard when he's there, and they've been really kind to him about it.
Yeah, no, that's good. So we need more kids in Arizona, Yavapai County involved in rodeo. What advice do you have for the younger generation and those kids that are up and coming?
Biggest piece of advice I'd give is find somebody who knows what they're talking about and trust the process. Because it takes so long, and it's a lot of bumps and bruises and getting bucked off or getting stomped or whatever. But it's all part of it, and I got bucked off more than I think I probably should have. But it's gotten me to where I am today. So just my biggest thing is trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process. Don't give up. Yeah, that's good advice.
Can I plug something real
quick?
Absolutely.
He's
going to be so mad at me.
Uh-oh.
You know where we're going with this.
I don't, actually.
You don't? Oh. Well, if you are an Amazon Prime member, there it is. Now he knows. So one of the football coaches over at the high school, Coach Tolley, he kind of took a special interest in Braylon when he was ball boying his 7th and 8th grade years. He would come over and he would help out on the sidelines. Like you said, his dad was coaching, and so Mr. Tolley started asking him, "What's your story? What do you like to do?" Of course, I like to rodeo. Starts telling him about it, and so Tolley starts kind of bugging Brandon, like, "Hey, are you documenting this?" And we go, yeah. We take video, we post it to Facebook. I don't know what kind of documentation are you looking for? Well, he's the film and media teacher over at the high school, and long story short, he moved over here from Hollywood and has been in some major films before and has done some screenwriting. So next thing you know, there is a 33-minute documentary about the wolf in the chute, CHUTE, which AKA would be Braylon. And so he spent all of your 8th grade year and freshman year kind of following him around with a camera, getting up in his face, really not embarrassing high school stuff at all.
Right.
But it's a really cool documentary, and you can either rent it or purchase it on Amazon Prime. And it's also on DVD form for people who still, have DVD players.
Yeah. So it's Wolf in the Chute.
The Wolf in the Chute.
The Wolf in the Chute. I remember you guys talking about this a few years ago, so I'm glad you brought that back up.
Yeah, so it aired for the very first time at the Prescott Film Festival at Yavapai College, actually our first year when we were in Rock Springs. And it was kind of cute because it was prom night, and he was getting ready to go to prom, and we actually got to watch it via Zoom. So thank goodness that we have that technology now. And then they were able to flip the camera around, and we could do the little question and answer session. And so it was kind of fun to hear all of our friends out in the audience, and you could hear certain people asking questions like, "Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is." And, people were Snapchatting us pictures like, "Hey, we're at Yavapai right now. We're going to watch your movie." It was really cool. Cute. And so it aired July 17th, his freshman year. And then it came out this year, right about the same day, like halfway through our week at Rock Springs. It came out on Amazon Prime, like I said. And so what a cool plug for the movie that then he ended up winning the world ride, a few days later.
Right.
Yeah.
Have to do a little extra trailer on the end of that then.
Yes, exactly.
Now that you won the world. All right. Well, let's wrap things up here a little bit, guys. What's the most meaningful buckle in the Johnson family?
We were talking about this last night, and we come up with it. It's my first gold buckle.
Okay, tell me about it.
But like the actual NFR buckle,
okay.
The actual PRCA World Champion buckle.
Manifest.
But at the moment, I'd have to say it's my dad's 2014 Buccaneers NFR Buccaneers Cell buckle.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the colts that he raised that year was the high-selling dummy bucking colt at the NFR sale. And so dummy bucking would mean the colt was only 2 years old. And so they couldn't buck him with a cowboy yet. So he ended up winning that honor, and he now has an NFR buckle, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool. That's at the South Point when they do the bucking sale. Yeah, I've watched that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Several times. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know that Brandon had that. That's very cool.
Yeah. My most meaningful buckle, I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if the camera can see it, but it is my Miss Prescott Frontier Days 2003 buckle. And of course, that's some major clout in my house because my husband doesn't have a Prescott buckle. And neither do you.
Yeah, Braylon doesn't have one of those yet, but he's in pursuit.
Oh, he will, I'm sure. I have no doubt in my mind somewhere in the future he will.
So you win the world, or you win a rodeo. What's your post-win meal?
Do it.
Now you talked about eating right. So
yeah, probably a good steak and a potato.
All right, steak and potato.
What's your favorite meal in town? Go ahead, plug the sponsors,
probably
man.
A prime rib from Murphy's.
Prime rib at Murphy's. Yeah, very good. Good. When you're getting ready to ride, tell us a little bit about your routine getting ready. And then is there a song that you like, to listen to right before you ride?
Yeah, so I show up about an hour early, and an hour's way too much. I figured out. It didn't used to be, but I've gotten like so efficient with getting ready that it's become to be too long, but kind of just allows me to get my brain right. So I get there, change my pants, get my rigging all set up and sprousing on it, and go stretch, and then just sit there and get my mind ready and listen to probably my number one hype song would be "Lunatic Fringe" by the Red Riders.
Okay, Lunatic Fringe. Yep. All right, good. Well, thank you guys for being in today. It's a lot of fun. I learned a lot actually.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Didn't know that you met Brandon for the first time at the rodeo office.
Yes,
the introduction.
We are that rodeo dream team, adorable couple.
I didn't know that you and Brandon were first generation rodeo folks.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. And, Braylon, it's, I said it before, but we're just very proud. Everybody at Prescott Frontier Days and the world's oldest rodeo, putting us on the map at the high school finals. Mm-hmm. We are very proud of you and grateful that you have the dedication you do to rodeo and keeping the sport alive. And I'm hopeful that locally there's kids out there that are looking up to you, and you'll have the opportunity to mentor them, and we'll get more bareback riders at the high school finals, right?
Sure,
that's the hope.
Yeah, that's the idea. So let me ask you, what is Prescott proud? What does it mean to you, being from Prescott and winning? Give me a little flavor of that.
Well, they say it's everybody's hometown, but to us, it's home.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what it would mean to me, is that this is where I call home, and so representing it at the high school finals was awesome. Representing Arizona was awesome, but just being from Prescott and being able to represent Prescott was probably I don't know, it was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of rodeo history here.
I kind of get chills when I think about Braylon Johnson from Prescott, Arizona, being announced at the National High School
Pretty
Finals. I'm sure
exciting.
that was a pretty proud moment.
I guess there was a Williams Night Rodeo going on at the exact same time that he won, and our buddy Skinner.
I guess they were watching it on the Cowboy Channel.
Yeah. He's a huge advocate for the kids.
Skinner, he's been around since I started, and he's always supported me, and he used to judge the junior rodeos, and so I guess they're watching it on the Cowboy Channel. I guess he jumped out of the window of the announcer's stand and ran down into the arena and told everybody,
Braylon Johnson just won the world. We're like, do we have that on camera somewhere? I want to see that. Stops the whole performance.
That's awesome. Well,
pretty cool.
I'm sure everybody there was glad to hear about it, and I'm sure they made sure everybody there knew that you'd won. So that's great. Well, maybe we'll have you on next time when you have your card and win a buckle at the world's oldest rodeo.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you guys for coming in, and
Thanks,
good
Greg.
luck in football and rodeo this fall.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's all we have here. Ride With Us podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.